What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Ticket TV. He's the first one that I saw in the LDBC report about this, about Russell Westbrook, his altercation with an idiot fan in Utah. I also want to give a shout out to Town Biz for his video talking about this situation, and also want to give a shout out to QuestX. All right, I just want to do one more video talking about this. I'll probably do another video after listening to the idiot Colin Cowherd. He's going to spin in circles to somehow criticize Russell Westbrook for this. I noticed that a lot of people, well, first of all, there are a lot of idiots out there that are racist, and they're just coming out 100% in support of the racist guy, okay? I read that the dude has quickly deleted old racist tweets, okay? And he's making himself look like he's the victim. I don't know how true this is, but I've seen a couple of people who claim to have been at the game. It might be facetious, but I don't know. But a couple people claim to have been at the game. They said that the guy said something like, you need to get on your... I don't know the exact wording, but they said that he called Russell a nigger, and then said something like, you need to get on your knees like the way you would in the past, or the way you would used to, or something like that. Basically, kind of jockeying up the past where African Americans were submissive to whites. And you know, all that is just insecurity on his part. He probably doesn't make a lot of money. He probably has a small penis. And he's insecure, you know, and he just looks like a fucking racist. I know you shouldn't say something like that, but he looks like a fucking racist. He looked like so many people I've encountered personally over the internet, who, the few people who've been brave enough to put their own face on an account. And you just know these guys, man. They have a chip on their shoulder. They haven't really accomplished what they think they should have in life, and they focus all of their negativity toward those who they think are takers, and in our society or whatever. But anyway, I also noticed that a lot of people say shit like, well, it's just words. It's just words. Russell need to be bigger than that, and blah, blah, blah. Well, first of all, I know a lot of people can't even resist the urge to retaliate via comment on social media. If it's just words, then why do you guys always have to have the last word? And, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just bullshit to me. And if it's just words, why is that always aimed at us? It's always with us. It's just words. We have to supposedly just deal with the most ugly, disgusting behavior by these Neanderthals, right? Yet, just look last week where you had that Muslim congressperson who was condemned by her own party for saying something that was not even inflammatory in nature and was based in fact. But she was quickly branded an anti-Semite. It don't work for us. Whenever we speak about fact, something factually about history that makes white people look in bad light, we're called racist. If I were to say that George Washington, the supposed father of our country, was a slave owner, and by today's standards would be seen as a virulent racist, somehow I'm a racist for saying that, even though that's factually based. But yet somebody, could walk up to me and call me a big fucking nigger, a big stinking black nigger, and if I go back at this dude, somehow I'm supposed to be the one that's expected to have, civil behavior. You see what I'm saying? Like it's almost like reverse psychology. Like everybody else gets to act out their most basest, you know, their most base behavior on us. But when we retaliate, we clap back, we get condemned for acting childish. I mean, what sense does that make? Nah, the days of, you know what I'm saying, us being submissive and hanging our heads and just taking it, nah, that shit ain't flying anymore. We're not gonna do that anymore. Okay? And second of all, this goes out to the Utah Jazz family. All right, all of you guys are Utah Jazz fans. You guys are losers. All right, Utah has never won anything. They never will. The best player in the history of their franchise was a choker. Okay, and I distinctly remember. I alluded to this in my past video, but I distinctly remember some of the stuff that was aimed at Dennis Rodman. All right, during the NBA Finals back in the late '90s. And this was an era where people might have been a little bit more civil toward one another. And it was still a lot of screwed up shit aimed at him. All right. You look at Utah in general, heavily Republican state. All right. Might be 300 black people that live there statewide. I don't even know it's that many. You know what I'm saying? All of them probably live in Salt Lake City. All right. State that votes 70 to 75% Republican. You do the math. You do the math. Okay. Um, the NBA needs to do something about this situation. See, they thought if you take the physicality out the game. See, the Malice in the Palace was not about physical. It wasn't about the game being physical. It wasn't about, players getting into it too much and talking trash and all that. No, that had nothing to do with it. What the situation boiled down to was fans interjecting themselves into the game. That hasn't changed. Yeah, you tone down the game, you're taking the physicality out of it. All right. Guys get teed up and thrown out of games for looking at each other now. You know what I'm saying? Tim Duncan one time got thrown out of a game for laughing on the bench. All right. And that's another thing. You got these referees taking out their personal issues on players, their power trips. You don't think some of these referees are only making, $90,000 to $150,000 a year? I say only because it's a pretty good living for the average person. But you don't think some of these referees is only making $90,000 to $150,000 a year? You got players making millions of dollars. You don't think they have a power trip, a chip on their shoulder as well? Come on, be serious. But the problem is, it's the fans. All right, you can clean the game up all you want to, take all the physicality out of it. All right, still, which to the average hardcore NBA fan is make the game rather boring. All right, but that still doesn't change the fact that you got fans out there that think they can say whatever and whenever they want to say to players, and they can get away with it. It's freedom of speech when they do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to come to a head eventually. And Russell Westbrook has been especially aimed at this vitriol. And I always tell a friend of mine, man, I tell a couple of friends of mine that with a lot of these players, you got to do the hoodie test. Like, if you put a hoodie on Stephen Curry, you know what I'm saying, he looks just like a kid, you know what I'm saying? You put a hoodie on Klay Thompson, you put a hoodie on Russell Westbrook, he like a motherfucker that's going to fuck you up. And see, that's how white people look at us. You know what I'm saying? I could really go deeper with this shit, man, but I don't want to like have some people like look at me like, oh man, Mike, you tripping. But Russell just has a look and a demeanor that's, I put it like this: Russell Westbrook has a look and a demeanor that's threatening to some white people out there. And I'll just leave it at that. And I think that has a little bit to do with why some people, a few of them, have issues with him. It's not really about the triple doubles and his game. You know, that's smoke screens. They don't like him for other reasons. You know what I'm saying? There's other reasons. It's a reason why that fat piece of shit in Philly, I think it was, gave him the fuck you sign. It's the reason why that other fat piece of shit got in Russell Westbrook's face, what was it, last season? It's the reason why that little kid who's already being taught how to be a little white supremacist is, feels obliged to give Russell a shove. And, Russell held his temper then. But nah, you're not going to sit there and call somebody a nigger and think they're supposed to just stand there and take it. And people are going to talk about, oh, well, all the players in the past, they did. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Many players in the past used to cuss fucking fans out. It might not be as heavily documented as it would be in the social media age, but fans back then, first of all, most fans conducted themselves in a more civil manner. All right. Second of all, the few of them that did go out their way and say racist shit, they got royally cussed the fuck out too. We just didn't have social media the way we have it now. But these fans got to be saying some fucked up shit when you got guys like Vernon Maxwell running to the stands and punching people in the face. All right? So that's all I got to say about this. Tell me what you guys think.